So guys, today I'm extremely excited to be finally filming for you my best of episode dedicated to the note of tonka bean in perfumery that I've been so obsessed with over the last couple of months that I've collected quite a fantastic selection of tonka bean fragrances with very different scent profiles and price points, and I got over 20 to share with you. So definitely grab yourself a snack or something to drink because it's going to be a longer informative video, and more information you will find down below in the description box, so make sure to check it out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and once you're done with that, we can get started. So hello and welcome everyone to today's best of episode dedicated to the fantastic base note of tonka beans in perfumery, which are very complex. This raw material is also super expensive and multi-faceted. Sometimes it is a little bit more almondish and with a tobacco facet, and sometimes it can smell quite fresh. That's for it's an essential material for the structure of fougere perfumes that I'm not a big fan of, but I have quite a few stunning ones to share with you in this video, as well as very edible gourmand tonka bean fragrances, something atmospheric and very wearable as well as intense. I also got on today's list, so make sure to keep on watching till the end because I've been so obsessed with tonka bean that that's what I've been wearing over the last couple of months. And in case you have a favorite tonka bean fragrance, then make sure to comment down below. But in case you've noticed, in the ingredients list of almost every fragrance you can find coumarin, which is actually a synthetic alternative to a very expensive raw material of tonka bean, and that's what we mostly find in commercial perfumes. But today I got for you superb high quality tonka bean fragrances. So without any further ado, let's get started, and I want to begin with a newer fragrance in my collection called Ode to Dullness by Juliette, which I can call modern take on tonka bean note, which has been around for a long time. And actually it is not only a perfume material, you can use it in cooking. And here I have real authentic tonka beans right here, and I haven't tested them yet, but maybe I should on camera. Or okay, super bitter, reminiscent of almond. And as you will see in today's video, you can often find them together in a perfume. Actually, wow, I can smell something very nutty, obviously, but with a vanilla aftertaste. And this is the thing that you can use it even in food like bakery and something. Cinnamon also has some doses of coumarin, and if you overdose it, it can be actually a little bit dangerous for your health because there is something like cyanamide in there. I might be wrong about my pronunciation, but you know, tonka bean are delicious, but don't go too heavy on them. Rather wear a beautiful fragrance like this one, which is super soft. It's kind of like a kitten, not a tiger in terms of perfumes. So it is mixed with a very gentle woody and a spicy note, and tonka bean is a supporting note in here, as it can often star in fragrances, but some of them are rather centered around this note. However, it's not this one because it smells like your skin, but better, being a little bit more minimalistic and very well performing. I personally love to wear it on a everyday basis because it gives me this feeling of comfort and also modern touch, and it performs really well outside on the fresh air. So on that note, now let's talk about another great daytime tonka bean fragrance called Lumiere Blanche by Olfactive Studio. And I love to wear it when I wake up, just because in the opening there is this beautiful note of cardamom, which is textural and a little bit green, aromatic, slightly spicy because it is mixed with star anise and cinnamon, but not too much because in the dry down it turns softer, powderier, woodier, creamier, so the texture is there. And tonka bean is once again just acts like a beautiful base note without taking all the attention at itself. So this is a very lovely perfume to wear during the daytime. And for the night, I would go with Close Up by the same brand because it has something dark and animalistic to it, almost as if you mixed bitter coffee with cherry and tobacco cigarette. so it has more of this animalic touch to it. And in case you're a fan of such fragrances and you want it to be Tonka Beanish, that's that. By the way, I highly recommend you to explore the range of this fantastic niche brand, and in case you get interested in it, I have a discount for you. So all the information is once again down below in the description box. But on that note, let's talk about a Tonka Bean forward fragrance by the brand Solinotes, which is super affordable and quite simple for the days when you are into the Tonka Bean and maybe wanted to be layered with something else. So this fragrance will give any other a Tonka Bean touch, not even a kick, because it's super light, watered down, and for this price I can't complain. So in case you want to understand how Tonka Bean smells, definitely try it out. I personally love to wear it right before bed because it is not that aggressive fragrance that will be too annoying. It's quite fleeting and I don't mind for the price, but I like something a little bit more niche and a little bit more long-lasting and exciting. That's for I'm personally a huge fan of this classic by Lalique. The EVER+ Perfume is a great example of a beautiful Tonka Bean perfume that is mixed with vanilla and some woods, patchouli, almond. It is powdery, but in the opening there is something a little bit metallic and something a little bit cool, which is very exciting for me personally, because the majority of Tonka Bean perfumes are rather sweet or fougere, and this is super classy and super timeless. So you can wear it anywhere you go. It's super safe, and I highly recommend you check it out because it's one of the best when it comes to Tonka Bean. And another great one, sort of in that same vein, would be Tardis by Carner, Barcelona, but it is a bit powderier, which is appealing to me because I'm a big fan of powdery perfumes. And in here we have almond, which is contrasted by Brazilian rosewood. So there is something very light and ethereal in the opening, and the dry down is rather milky but not too lactonic, so it's not a heavy perfume. Powdery, very chic, heliotrope, Tonka Bean and musk create this very sensual effect. And there is note of celery, which is weird and I don't get it, but maybe it brings something special to this composition as well, which I actually passed on my mom because she is obsessed with powdery perfumes and it smells amazing on her. Anytime she wears it, I always ask what it is, and when she tells me it's Tardis, I'm surprised every time. So I have a discount for you just in case you're interested in Carner Barcelona perfumes, and this is the fragrance people will remember you by, so you can make it your signature scent. And the one that I would wear not during the day but in the nighttime, because people can really smell Arabians Tonka, one of my favorites by Montale, really well even in the crowded places, and just super long lasting, although not too Tonka Beanish. In fact, it's rather about this oriental Montale's oud mixed with a rose that is oily and heavy, sharp saffron, and Tonka Bean that is so sugary sweet that it is almost not even that recognizable, yet it's in there. And the fragrance is extremely bold, it's strong. You need to enjoy such characterful perfumes in order to wear it, but I find for a night out it's amazing, and I personally have a lot of fun with this fragrance. But before I had it, I used to wear Dupe by Parfums, which is way more affordable and smells just as gorgeous, and with my discount you can save even more on it. So just in case you can't afford Arabians Tonka but you really want it because it is a very popular fragrance, make sure to check out Parfums Dupe. And now let's talk about the fragrance I don't really mention often on my channel, and it is such a shame because Magus by Memoize London is a fantastic scent that is, unlike many other Tonka Bean perfumes, is not too sweet, it is not a fougere, it is something very special, spicy, round, textural. It is velvety, a little bit powdery with this delicious taste without being a sweet gourmand fragrance. So Tonka Bean in here is mixed with violet and coconut, some resinous notes, spices, and it is even better than Fifth Delicieux from the expensive Dior collection, because this fragrance has something very luxurious and expensive to it. Maybe that's actual note of patchouli and not too much much of cherry note like in Fève Délicieuse. However, in case you want your tonka bean mixed with cherry, I would rather recommend you to go for Tonka Cola by Mancera, which is my ride or die. I love this scent so much because it is unusual, it is fun, and very similar to the real scent of Coca-Cola flavor cherry. I mean, like, don't drink that, better wear this perfume and you will smell amazing all day long, because the performance of this fragrance is phenomenal. I can always smell it on myself, which I enjoy. People ask me about it because it's something very fun and flirty, bubbly, that fizziness of Coca-Cola mixed with tonka. The name is just spot on. That's exactly what you'll get, Tonka Cola. And tonka bean in here is kind of like it is in real life. It is a little bit discreet, but once you start wearing the fragrance, you will get its magic. It's not necessarily the loudest tonka bean perfume, but it is absolutely delicious, almost edible or drinkable. I don't know how to call that. But now let me present you the most delicious, sweet gourmand tonka bean perfume that always brings me so many compliments, because to me personally, Tonka Sesame by EPC smells of Ferrero Rocher candies. So think about that nuttiness, that roasted quality of hazelnut and powderiness of almond is mixed with heliotrope, sesame, vanilla and tonka bean. They are quite similar, but vanilla can be fluffy, it can be powdery, it can be light, it can be syrupy, and tonka bean has more of this density and texture to it. And in this perfume, they're all blended into one seamless, perfect dessert. It is a very gourmand fragrance and it is so delicious, strong, bold and loud. That's why it attracts people, because tonka bean can be very addictive, and it is used in, you know, culinary, in cuisine, in basically creating something delicious like baking a dessert. So yeah, that's a very gorgeous fragrance, also to layer with others, and I have a discount for it. But now let me tell you about a very serious tonka bean perfume, Fan Your Flames. I've always loved this Nishane fragrance that smells almost kind of bitter, and that's what you will get when you bite into the tonka bean pod. So it is mixed with tobacco and the accent is really on this note, but it is slightly bitter because of the room. So this booze has nothing sweet to it and it reminds me of pirates. I can really see it on a bigger man with muscles, with a beard. That would be phenomenal and just strong. It is kind of in a beast mode and I really love it. It's something very special. There are not many fragrances quite like it. Tonka bean is not the center of attention in that perfume, but it just supports everything else not to fall apart and stay put all day or night long. So you might want to check that out. That's definitely my recommendation for a man, and something that is extremely luxurious, something not for everyone, probably the most expensive perfume on today's list that I'm obsessed with. And the minute I smelled Wonderful Tonka by Attar, I fell in love with it, especially because the presentation is so gorgeous. I decided to show you the box it comes in, and the bottle is superb as well. This is an ode to elegance and sensuality perfume that is very complex and it changes throughout the day. In the opening, it is clean, fresh, almost mineral. I really like the note of grapefruit that gives it this sourish and fresh kick, and then the amber is definitely the star of the show. It is supported by tonka bean, but you will get more of them in the dry down, and it is very polarizing. Sometimes it smells soapy, clean, and other times it is gourmand. So it's kind of like the blend of fougere and gourmand tonka bean in one, and it has a bit of a vintage feeling, and I love how long lasting it is. I can smell it from the morning till the evening, and that's definitely high quality. That speaks for itself, but it is also very expensive, so it definitely deserves a place in every tonka bean lover's collection. But it's something that is very exceptional and out there. So in case you are looking for that type of tonka bean experience that is very complex, I would really recommend you that. And in case you want it to be powdery, sweet, almost sugary, I would say go for Velvet Tonka by BDK. I don't have that, but there is this dupe by Divan Magic Tonka that is almost the same, sugary, sweet almond, you know. It smells almost syrupy, it smells candied, it is mixed with tobacco that I'm not getting much of. For me, it is dessert tonka bean. For me, it is very cozy and cocooning. Sometimes I spray it around the house when I expect some guests coming over, because it just creates this homey feeling, and it is super cozy, super protective, very hugging, enveloping, and long lasting. So I also love to wear it when it's cold, because it's like a warming layer of something very pleasant and hugging, and very, very affordable. I also have a discount with which you can save even more. And since we are talking about BDK perfumes, one of my favorites from them is Rouge Smoking, and I don't think it needs any introduction. It is not as tonka bean forward, but it's in there, and I love that it is very well mixed with vanilla, and this vanilla is rather dark. It's not your typical vanilla that so many people are familiar with. It offers a new perspective on this note, especially because it's mixed with cherry that is very juicy, that is very clean in terms, there is nothing bothering, and the fragrance has the best performance ever. So that is not as authentic and right in your face as velvet tonka, and I would rather recommend that if I needed to choose between these two. But now we are kind of done with gourmandish tonka. We are gonna talk about them by the end of the video a little bit, and I saved the strongest stuff for the end, so make sure to keep on watching. But now let's talk about those rather timeless fougere classics, and for them the note of lavender in the top and tonka bean in the base are essential. And when I discovered La Rhapsodie Noire by Dusita, I didn't recognize the fougere character in this perfume, but it was so pleasant, it was very addictive, it was very hard to resist, that I kept wearing and wearing this fragrance until it hit me that there is actual lavender that I'm not crazy about, but in here it is mixed with other herbaceous aromatic notes, some flowers, and then the tonka bean accord is mixed with tobacco, with coffee, vanilla, and beautiful woods. There is this gorgeous oak that has a bit of a boozy background, and the fragrance is very, you know, how should I say, laid back, casual, definitely classy, timeless, and modern at the same time. So if I needed to choose the best fougere out there, I would say that's that, at least most wearable and pleasant for me, that I could make my own, because it's not my favorite genre of fragrances, so I'm very picky with it. But La Rhapsodie Noire is perfect, and tonka bean note there is noticeable, and it is not sweet, which is interesting, that this is not too gourmand, not too candy sweet. So in case you don't like that quality about tonka bean, then I would really recommend you that, or the fragrance in which I can smell the tonka bean, but it is not listed in the notes, which is Un Air d'Apogée by my favorite Maison Violet, and it is actually about tobacco, which is similar to tonka bean, and maybe that actually gives me an impression of smelling tonka bean, and it is very atmospheric. You really need to picture yourself driving with your windows down in a car, kind of like by the sunset on the countryside. You can smell the hay from the field, the mimosa flowers, the powderiness, and also the leather seats. Oh, it's just so good, especially if you're going somewhere. The sillage, it's so massive, it's so long, and it smells so expensive, you guys. This is just a gorgeous textural atmospheric perfume for men and women. I have a discount, and I would recommend you to check it out, even buy it blindly, because it's something that will be like a working horse in your perfume wardrobe, that you can wear to many different occasions, even work sometimes, day and night. It is very universal. Something else that I also really like a lot, and it's actually a dupe by Juliana's perfume for Guerlain's Imperial Tonka, which is now discontinued, or I believe reformulated. Very expensive, so this is way more affordable and just as gorgeous, because just like Guerlain's fragrance, it has this beautiful rosemary top note that makes this tonka almond incense concoction very relaxing. I would say this is a grounding tonka bean perfume, and don't get me wrong, you will still get the tobacco, the almond, the woods, and the tonka bean in here, and rosemary is not too green, so trust me, I'm not a fan of green notes, and this is not too herbaceous, but at the same time it makes a difference. So just in case you can't afford that Guerlain and you want something similar, I would say that's a really nice option for that. But as I promised, now let's get back to our Gourmand tonka bean and talk about Café Cabanel, which I think you need for going out in the evening, maybe even date, because this is a sexy gourmand, very complex. It's spicy, it is buttery, creamy, there is vanilla with caramel and tonka, so it is very serious with kind of like this powdery sillage. It dries down into something so delicious, but at the same time it is well balanced. It's a harmonious sweet perfume with a bitter background, so it is not too sickening sweet at all, and I find it smells very mature and grown up, like you're wearing something twisted, something exciting, something that is hard to figure out, and that makes it exciting. So that's Café Cabanel. Next is also kinda gourmand, but I would say boozy tonka, which is my favorite, Mandorle by SORADORA, and you guys know how much I love this fragrance, right? Because I'm a big fan of boozy notes, and it is a little bit animalic too. Suede in here is superb. It is soft, it is animalic, powdery, a little bit sticky because of the caramel, and tonka bean in here, it has the best texture ever. So I would highly recommend you this in case you like woods, if you like something sweet but you want it to be a little bit darker with an edge. That's great for that, you guys, and you can't go wrong with this scent of tonka bean that is not too like obvious, but at the same time it's there, you know it's there, and sometimes you can smell it. Now next I want to talk about very popular tonka bean perfume. It's by Jo Malone, called Mern Tonka, and for me it's like one of those examples of tonka that I don't like. Actually, I used to have hard times with this note because it was too flat, too dull for me personally, and especially mixed with lavender. Like in here it reminds me of men's perfumes, and I actually have a dupe by One Parfums in this very travel friendly format, and I do like it sometimes, but rather layering with something else. So in case you want to check out this one, make sure to use my discount, but I personally prefer Jo Malone's Scarlet Poppy. Obviously the bottle is very appealing to me because it is red, but the scent, you guys, it is so gorgeous, very creamy. Amber seeds in here just create this milky texture, oris, bring something powdery but not dusty to this composition that has a refreshing, almost like creamy, juicy fig note, and of course tonka bean mixed with heliotrope and barley. I would say this is something very interesting, something unique. It is floral, it is musky, it is aromatic, it is almondish, it is very delicate, and at the same time long-lasting. It's interesting that it is very, how should I say, just delightfully warm, and at the same time not too much. Like some other tonka bean perfumes are overwhelming and very bold. You really need to have an occasion to wear them to, or you know, just maybe for yourself, like this one. So that's definitely my favorite option from Jo Malone. But now I want to surprise you with the note of tonka bean, which once again is a little bit gourmandish and sweet, and I bet you've never smelled tonka bean being really fruity, but these two fragrances from Pearlescent Parfums will definitely offer you a very fun perspective on this note. The newer release Tonka Peach smells kinda like champagne with this tart peachy juice. and something absolutely fizzy, absolutely floral, kind of like you're out having a picnic, drinking lemonade, and just so sparkling, maybe just a hint of champagne, creating like a little cocktail, adding slices of peaches to it, but all of that mixes with your sweet perfume you're wearing, and that's kind of like the illusion of tonka bean being in there. I guess for the texture you can't really smell much of it, but it is super strong and long lasting, and it is interesting that thanks to the tonka bean I can wear that fragrance rather in the winter when I'm not that drawn to my fruity fragrances that I normally wear when it is warmer. So this is something cool and fun, but the tonka bean perfume that I can wear in the summertime, which is not a usual case, because I prefer tonka thanks to its texture, its intensity, its warmness when it's cold. However, tonka Zur is my go-to in the hot weather for the summer. I absolutely love this scent of blueberry champagne because, you guys, it is absolutely magnificent. Very hard to pinpoint the notes in here. If I didn't know that there is this blackcurrant champagne blueberry accord, I would say it's just a very fresh, very piercing, very joyful scent, and they are so long lasting and they project well because Pearlescent Perfumes, just as their sister company Gallagher, is all about high performance, and from them I definitely need to point out Wicked Good, which I have hard times with, although I know it is very popular for a good reason, because in here we have chocolate, real Madagascar vanilla and tonka bean, so it is a seriously gourmand fragrance, but to me it smells of a chocolate porridge, and I don't know why. So maybe because of the texture, but it is just like so it's not even roasted, it's not bitter, it's dark, it smells like porridge to me personally. It smells of that you know, oatmeal thing or something, but people love it anytime I wear it, and I rarely wear it on its own. I rather mix it with some other fragrance just for dimension, because it is super saturated. People, they just go crazy, so it's fun to see their reaction on some of you know, sweeter fragrances, which are always well received. But now, last however not least, you guys, and the most powerful, the most serious tonka bean perfume that is not appropriate for the beginners. You definitely need to be an advanced lover of tonka bean, and then you deserve to have jewelry in your collection. This fragrance by Kajal is no joke. It is very strong with spices in the opening. You will get the nutmeg, the clove, the ginger, the pepper mixed with sultry florals, all wrapped into sticky honey. Very oriental composition with tonka, with patchouli. Something unusual, something not for everyone, as I've said, but very unique, very gorgeous in case you've smelled many tonka bean perfumes and you don't want anything being centered around it. You want tonka bean not being a supporting note. You want it to be just, you know, a star, but like that doesn't scream about itself, then I would recommend you this stunning fragrance in a gorgeous bottle. But I hope that today's selection was helpful for you. Let me know which of the fragrances I presented you today excited you the most, and in case you decide to shop them, make sure to use my discount. All the help information is going to be down below in the description box. Make sure to check it out and drop me a comment below which other note you want me to explore next. Previous best of episodes will be linked in the description box, as well as my social media, so make sure to follow me there, especially on Instagram. And I would like to know if you are familiar with tonka bean and what do you think about this note. Do you have a favorite fragrance with it? And if not, I highly recommend you to dip your toe into the world of tonka bean, because it's something very exciting. I haven't mentioned any designer fragrances, but on the top of my head I would say go for Shalimar, Fall Interdit, Rouge and Poison Girl, in case you want to experience something from that segment. And on that note, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed and found it helpful, then make sure to give it a huge thumbs up, because that is very beneficial for the video and my channel. Also subscribe to it if you haven't already, and thank you so much for watching. Make sure to stay tuned, smell good, and we'll see each other next one real soon. Bye guys.